Mikayla Nogueira is a marketing genius. And whether you love her or hate her, or whether you think what she does is ethical or not, she has the social media blueprint down to a T. We're gonna break all of this down on today's video. So let's get prepared for a quite lengthy deep dive on this, because I wanna spill a lot of things that no other influencer or creator or people even talking about these subjects at large are really focusing in on in a deep dive like this. So I wanted to take the time to do this. Hello, welcome to this channel. If you are new here, my name is Chrissy. I used to have a beauty channel many moons ago. I converted it to a completely different channel. So I did dabble in that space. I used to be back in the days of Jaclyn Hill. I am 42 years old, so I am not new to any of this game. I've been around the block many times, so I know all about the things that I've been seeing on social media. Plus, I deep dive on other kinds of things around the internets at large on my other channels. So it kind of makes sense now that I'm deep diving on this from a perspective where what can we learn financially? I'm not just going to wreck Mikayla or any other influencer that you might hear me talking about. Will we discuss the controversial topics that might be at hand? So I just want to make a note too about the reaction channel economy here on YouTube. And I want to just be transparent and upfront with you, because even the videos that I create on this channel eventually, hopefully, gain traction and eventually becomes monetized, and I earn some sort of kickback from this channel. I have another channel that gets some money from YouTube, nothing crazy, probably a few $100 a year. And if I get lucky on this one too, the same thing would happen. But what you need to realize is that many of these channels have hundreds of thousands, if not almost millions or more, subscribers on their reaction content, and many of the times they're reacting to a content that they find like grotesque or disturbing, or their subscribers or what have you are wanting them to cover. And what ends up happening is that is an economy in and of itself. You are funding the machine. In my opinion, it's a part of the YouTube, social media, TikTok, whatever you want to call it, game at large. Because what ends up happening is the original creator ends up posting something extremely polarizing, emotions become elevated and they spike. We're going to see that upcoming. And then ends up being audience reaction. Some people are outraged, some people are feeling extremely loyal, and some people are just making a straight mockery out of it. And then the reaction channels end up amplifying that. It's been going on for years and years and years on YouTube. A lot of them are considered like total drama channels. And I hope that I'm more of like a financial reaction channel. I don't want to be grouped into the drama per se, and I don't want to be grouped into the reactions where I'm just ripping content creators apart. So what ends up happening is that creates polarization. You have fans, and then you have your critics. And the engagement from that doubles. If you've heard anything throughout history, when people talk about the effects of polarization, it's real in every aspect, and that doesn't leave out social media. And Mikayla knows this, and many content creators know this. This is why rage baiting exists. This is why certain specific content gets put out onto the internet to specifically clickbait you into viewership, because that ends out in a payout for whoever's putting that video out. From a high level neuroscience perspective, reaction videos create this emotional stimulation, either which way it ends up being for you, whether it's good or bad emotional stimulation, it's stimulation nonetheless. And then what ends up happening is that your brain mirrors that reaction expressions. There are things called mirror neurons. So the more you start to watch these things, you start to maybe experience the outrage. You start making these micro expressions that are irritated or angry without any like real world stakes, so to speak. And we just always want to remember and keep in the forefront of our mind that creates dopamine spikes, and dopamine spikes related to social judgment and it keeps you wanting to go click on more and more videos of this nature. I have got myself caught in this. This is why I'm creating this channel, to create more than I consume. And I want to try to take that reaction style or that drama style, but turn it into something where we're analyzing, and we can take the financial nuggets, if you will, and use this in our own lives. So just remember what it is doing to your brain, what these reaction channels can end up doing to your emotions and how you feel and how you react to things. So just remember that every time you end up clicking on a very visceral sounding overreaction channel. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy them from time to time, but it can create like a village outrage, which, all right, fine, I get, but at the same time, I want to avoid that. But I do want to look at things critically and observe them, but not observe them to where like we're the court of law. That can get addictive, and that's another thing. We don't want to get addicting to like judging people and to calling people out for whatever behaviors in such like a negative way, when we can discern, we can use from those behaviors and what we can throw away and not engage with in the future. And I think that's one of the bigger takeaways here, is the engagement moving forward with these individuals. Just want to make that clear that it's all a part of this currency economy. It's all this influencer currency loop. So there's this whole money game at play here, and I'm going to call it the influencer money cycle, and everybody has a play in it. It's the whole idea here that your attention is the currency. You have all the power as the viewer, and you have to remember that. And they don't want you to remember that. They want you hooked. This is why influencers have very specific ways. And listen, I have another channel. You could consider me a micro influencer, and I am aware of the behaviors. Even myself, I started getting addicted to watching certain things, and then I realized it was this insane overconsumption type of situation where I would organize a few things, and then I would see the influencers organizing things over and over again and purchasing new things over and over again. And then I started realizing this is like one big loop trap. This isn't like this cute organization thing, or this isn't this ideas coming up. This is to sell you every product that they're using. And I understand it. I have an Amazon storefront. I want to make money just like the next person, but it's just, I think there's an ethical line, and that's what I'm also trying to find on this channel. What is the ethical line between over influencing? Because of course it's fun to share stuff with your audience or talk to your quote unquote, what influencers like to call everybody their bestie, to tell them new things that are coming out or hot products on the market. But it becomes overwhelming when you are pushing a new product every day. That leads us into Mikayla. And she is what I call a marketing genius. And again, there's so many mixed reviews on her because of the way that she has done certain things. And we're going to get into that now. But when we talk about this money cycle, what I want to talk about with Mikayla is her identity. She has a very strong Boston accent that many people believe is not real. Listen, I'm from Philadelphia. If I turn on my Philadelphia accent, it can become extremely heavy. And then I can turn on my ASMR voice. I have many different voices that I use, but it's kind of like one of those things where, are you using your most authentic voice, so to speak? Because I could also have a newscaster voice where I speak very professionally and formally. It all depends on the face you're trying to put on. But in her situation, she ends up changing her voice a little bit too often when we're supposed to be getting like the quote unquote girl next door Mikayla that is not putting on any type of different persona to her audiences. But there is times where you can drop that accent. I've actually been spoken to by like speech therapists about my accent. At one time, I used to help children speak English, and they came to me and told me that I should not pronounce it water. It should be pronounced water. I can't even get it out. And I'm so ingrained and used to saying, please have a cup of water, that it just rolls off the tongue for me. So it's very difficult to correct, and I would need to think about it every time I say it. So I don't know if it's a situation like that with her. I'm not trying to judge it, but some of it does sound extra, or just a persona that's the hook. The first part of this, the hook, the attention, the screaming in your face, the hands, the influencer hands. So like every 7 seconds you start to become potentially bored, or it keeps your attention if something is happening every 7 seconds. So they make sure to do things of this nature to continue to have your eyes on that material, because the longer your eyes stray, it will send a feedback signal to the algorithm, signaling that that content is something that you're enjoying because you're interacting with it. Whether or not you're clicking on it, if you're viewing it for an extended amount of time, you're showing the algorithm what you want to see. And that's one of the ways that is attention is currency. If you continue to watch these influencers, which Mikayla has 17 million subscribers, and if we continue to watch Mikayla, she will continue to grow in popularity, and she will begin to grow her millions. And that's financial landmark number one. If you do get into social media and you do procure a large sum of money, make sure to know what to do with it, where to store the money, how not to spend it above your means. And with Mikayla, I'm assuming that she's been doing this because she did go to school to become a marketing influencer, from my knowledge. All of this stuff is my opinion, just as a disclaimer. It is an analyzation of the things that have been very popular in social media culture surrounding her lately. So I'm almost positive she went to school because she wanted to do this. She understood there is a playbook. There is something to be said about the fact that if you can gain popularity, you can sell things like a product in mass and become a multi-millionaire from this. So I do feel the intention was there. I heard her say in one of her videos that she became obsessed with it because it was all she could think about, do, get prepared for, plan for, which is a part of that whole ritual that would be reality creation, in my opinion, of you forming what you want and then going after it relentlessly. And that goes the same as well for anybody that has the tenacity, because she is following her dreams. I do truly believe this is why she is in the position that she's in. She's now a multimillionaire, and it is a lesson learned for all of us if you want to market a product. However, there is crossing the line, and whether or not what she has been doing is ethical, and if it has been overconsumption and overkill. So what ends up happening is that she'll post these controversial videos, which she knows is also a part of the playbook. And then what it'll do is the engagement will spike, and then the algorithm will boost. And then what'll happen is the next video will be popular. So we can see examples of this when she did her announcement for her divorce. People were upset that she had said this across the internet because she treated people as if they were her child. The thing is that we can make one end of that spectrum, but on the other end of the spectrum, there are people that are that obsessed. This is why, unless there was a total collapse of TikTok and all of the children or teenagers or whatever across the United States had like emotional detachments from the application, these influencers are going to continue to make millions and millions of dollars, no matter how many reaction channels come out about them. I can see this because I've been in the game for like 20 years now or something, and some of the craziest stories that you would think would break an influencer has not, and they have come back full steam ahead. The only way that usually they don't is if they go to like jail or prison. But in this situation, this piece here was at, I think, over 30 million views. That alone will earn a ton of money. And we're going to get into that as well. So if you want to post very controversial videos on the internet, you will see engagement and spikes, and you will start to probably see money at some point if you are continuous with it. But it does come at a cost. It comes at a cost of people being involved in your personal life, people creating the parasocial relationship, which she purposely did, and that is another point of understanding that we should all have here, is the level of parasocial relationship.
It was somebody awful. I call that a relationship.
That she has created both ways, herself with her audience, and then the audience with her, through just this, again, this looped mirror identity thing going on where they feel loyal to her. It's a part of their probably identity. And then she feels as though she needs to come on to TikTok because she has that set of people. Meanwhile, there's this other subset of people that view it all as unethical. And there's like this bubble of folks that don't really care, and they keep it moving because it does seem to be about the almighty dollar. I'm pretty sure she was involved in a recent L'Oreal advertisement for a lash scope or something like this, and she previously had this whole scandal with lashes. So these companies are doubling down on the drama. You see how this creates like a pay farm of just content over and over again. It's really living in the simulation, so to speak. This next video that Mikayla did, this is why this is very planned. So if you want to become an influencer or you want to become a major marketing person, and I'm not claiming to have a degree in marketing, but I've been in the corporate industry for many, many years, and I've been on the internet for many, many years. And one way to have a product launch is to create a bunch of Jeffree Star used to do this so well. I don't think he does it as often now, but back in the day, it was like create all of this insane drama and then boom, product drop. So she did this very well. She did this video where it garnered millions of views, over 30 million. And then her next video, she was essentially selling you a product. So it was a pre-planned thing, but that is also in the influencer playbook. So you just got a divorce, and this is how excited and happy she is in the next video. It just draws suspicions because most people don't behave like this, but at the same time, it's a part of the playbook. The playbook is behave oddly, behave in such ways that will throw them off. Never let them know your next move. And she's just doing what would be that polarization in real time, showing you this like sad video of her being divorced, and then the next video is boom, a polarizing, get ready with me, and they're so far contrasted, and that's what really gets viewership. And if we don't see that and stop that at the pass, we're just going to continue to be sucked into that dopamine cycle, if you will. It's giving you the loud, bright colors. Like, check out her nails. Check out her. And I love all of this. I can't try to say that for some reason she shouldn't be doing this. But at the same time, there's a level of prowess here that is also a part of this whole package. It is a part of the influencer package, and that is to appear beautiful. She has had videos where she claims that she's not, but in my opinion, that is very far from the truth, because we see here she's gorgeous. Her regular face looks no different than any other female's regular face without makeup. She's no uglier or better looking than any other female without makeup for the most part. Don't get me wrong, are there exceptionally beautiful women without makeup? Of course, but that's the story of life. There's always going to be somebody that is more attractive or more unattractive, etc., etc. It's all about perception and how we as the viewer want to judge something. So, her face looks just like any other normal face, and she has the power of the paint. She makes her beat looks very beautiful. She looks stunning. She looks like Kim Kardashian. She looks amazing. And that is also a part of the algorithm feed. That hair, that look. And listen, I've been looking like this for the past 20 years. But that baddie look, like the extra, really hits on the algorithm. Like the lashes, like the big, beautiful eyebrows, and the perfectly coiffed hair, and the long, beautiful, loud colored nails, and what you're doing is you're drawing all of this attention. It's like drawing your eye to a shiny object. So it's very easy to get hooked in on these videos. She makes herself look amazing. She does all kinds of different looks. And she has basically become Jaclyn Hill 2.0. She's become a powerhouse where they essentially turn into a mini QVC HSN influencer for all of their products or any other products that these companies end up sending them. And a note on all of that and how that works here. When these influencers are selling products, they're earning income from multiple different ways. There could be upwards of 10 different ways an influencer like Mikayla could be earning money. So let's just take this one video, for example. She here is selling her own product, but say this was L'Oreal. She could be potentially, we'll do it both ways. If it was L'Oreal, she could be getting paid by L'Oreal to show the product. So they could, I'm just throwing figures out here. I have no clue. Knowledge comes from other influencers talking about their brand deals and things of this nature. Somebody, I don't know how much, but people have mentioned that you can make thousands, 50, 100, I don't know how many thousands of dollars per post. L'Oreal could be paying her per post. They could give her a discount code, or they could give her a link. And then what you do is you click on that link, and then when you purchase the product, you're also giving her a piece of that commission. And then she's also posting the video on TikTok. So then she's earning money there. And if she has any other platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and she's posting them to those platforms, the same video, she's earning money potentially there. And then on top of that, farming views from those different platforms that would all funnel back to L'Oreal and potentially having her coupon code used over and over again. And then, so is that like 4 different potential ways that you could be earning money off of these things? And then on top of that, they're oftentimes sending you tons and tons of product, which you're getting for free. So you never have to buy makeup if you don't really want to. And, or I do believe, I'm not saying she does, but I swear when I see on the internet, when I'm like looking on different websites like Mercari or eBay, these influencers are selling the products that are being sent to them by PR. So it's another potential way to be able to earn money. And we don't know if there's any other type of kickbacks going on from these things, if the company's giving them anything longer term or other kind of kickbacks. And then they give them vacations oftentimes, so they're getting to travel for free. Comes this big financial kind of circle that they can get into, and it becomes a money-making machine. And that's why it's very lucrative right now to want to become an influencer. And I understand why. I get it. I completely see why it becomes alluring at first. But then, in my opinion, because even myself, again, I've gone with some of these trends. I still do some of the trends, but it's too much to be caught up in these trends every single day and to be posting. I think that's when it starts to cross the line. How can you review 50 products in a month and say that they're all good? Or even multiple products, it's hard to do that with. And to consistently do this over and over and over for years on end, how can you have any real reliability with the products that you're testing? It's just another product, another different overconsumption angle to kind of get at, because at the end of the day, there isn't necessarily a reason to have any more makeup companies. But because she has such a huge following, that doesn't matter, because she has guaranteed purchasers. She has guaranteed consumers. So she knew this from the very start. So this is all a way. And again, with her product, she is the direct seller of that product. So she gets all of the proceeds from whatever you purchase. There's not a third party selling through. She's now the maker. So one thing that was interesting to me about her lipsticks, you just had a divorce, but you don't need a man for Valentine's Day, but you need a lip kit. And the fact that these lip kits had so much controversy around them, but they still sold out, and she's reselling them again. And no, there's no problem. People are going to sell them out again, and she will continue to be a multi-millionaire. And I'm thinking she's putting it away in other things. I'm wondering, is she buying real estate properties? Is she opening up a trust fund? Is she putting money into the stock market? Is she having a financial advisor go through her funds and make sure she's allocating for her retirement and her future, etc., etc.? I'm assuming yes, but at the end of the day, we don't really know. A lot of these influencers do end up going broke and things of this nature. She did recently, I think, have this shopping spree. I can't find the one where she went on like a $200,000 shopping spree, but here's the one with her closet, where it's like, if you see everything that she's showing you, even just here, that's probably like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars between everything that she's showing. I'm not sure, but a lot of those look like designer.
I'm a big sneaker fan. I have a lot of sneakers. I know I have a problem. Charissa looks me in the face and tells me I have a problem. I absolutely love looking at the high heels. Are you kidding me? Look at these babies. They're stunning. Okay, then it was actually time to organize everything.
Yeah, so it's like now it looks like she has like one of those celebrity closets and all these clothes. You know, I'm not sure. They look probably expensive. So you can see that she's spending her money, and she doesn't really have a problem showing it to her audience. And that's the part that kind of I find the funniest of all of it, because no matter how much crap people talk about it, people are still viewing it. People are not stopping engaging with it, and it's still earning her, and in my opinion, will continue to earn her millions and millions of dollars, and will not be put to a stop anytime soon. I think it'll just be on the rise, creating a lot of different polarization, and I think they're going to continue to behave in this fashion. It's going to be this whole economy of influencers. It seems like a lot of them also grift too, and it's realizing that, because a lot of people were calling her out for lying. It can feel grifty if you're pretending you're married, but at the same time, you're technically not. You're about to get a divorce, or you're divorced, or I don't know, whatever, but you're selling content as if you're married or as if you're engaged. And that's deceptive. That can be pretty shady, and it can put a bad taste in people's mouth. But it doesn't seem to be shaking anybody in such a way that she's losing subscribers, that she's losing engagement, or that she's losing brand deals and any type of affiliate sales. And, while she might be getting some sort of backlash, and I'm sure that's not comfortable, she's rolling in dough, and it's something that we need to be aware of. And if you continue to engage with that material, she'll continue to earn money. You pay these creator with your attention and through your wallet. If you are purchasing products over and over again from these individuals, you are contributing to this whole kind of influencer money cycle, if you will. It is one large machine at play. And listen, I've been caught in it. I still am caught in it. I don't claim to be out of it by any means, but what I'm trying to do is become more aware of it and not be so influenced. And instead of allowing them to influence me, perhaps taking some of that money and putting it away into a Roth IRA. Like every time you get the urge to want to purchase something that an influencer is trying to get you to purchase, take that equal amount of money and put it into a savings account, or put it into a stock money market account, or open up some sort of fund account, retirement, put it into some 401k, whatever you want to do, put it someplace where it's earning you back money and you're making your money work for you, and you're not just putting money into these influencers' pockets every single time a product drops, because that's another thing that they do and to be aware of, and is another marketing scheme. It makes you feel like you need these products. You don't need any of these products, but that's the lure with it, because she's showing you these before and afters where you're like, oh my gosh, her skin looks amazing, I need these products. And it creates a feedback loop like I talked about before. You basically get caught up in the TikTok loop, and you continuously look at these influencers and then feel the urge to purchase the things that they're suggesting to you. And then just another note on all of this as well, regardless of what you may or may not realize, if you have an influencer that is consistently repeating one brand to you, or that is consistently always giving praises to certain things, that will essentially influence you out into the real world, even if you're not paying attention. If you're going out to buy something, you may be more likely to pick up a product or a brand that they're mentioning over another brand, just because it has created a state of familiarity in your brain. So it also goes back to all this primordial urge of hunting and gathering. That goes back to the overconsumerism. The influencer shows you something, you feel like you need to go and potentially gather that item or product for yourself to be able to quote unquote survive, when you don't really need to. It's just some tchotchke skincare thing or lip product that you may have multiple of, and at the end of the day, you just get a dopamine spike from it. Use it. And some of these products, of course, are they products that you may use and love? Perhaps, yes. But for me, at least, a lot of them end up being potentially frivolous purchases. And it's recognizing that and pulling back on those purchases and making sure that money goes into your own bank account and not into all of the bank accounts of the influencers and the brands that they're working with. I'm not saying that you cannot ethically have partnerships with brands. I have things that I really love from certain brands. I have products that I love from certain brands. It's when you over consume these things and then just press them out 24/7, and it seems like you're just running campaigns all the time. Everything is a QVC ad. Everything is some sort of sale or pre-sale. Everything is some sort of showcase of a product to showcase, because you are earning commissions, monies, or affiliates, or any type of check to show the product. So there's a lot of different things at play here, especially from a psychological standpoint, like financially, that we should think about when we're consuming all of this TikTok. And what's scary to me probably is that the youths are consuming this, and if they don't realize that they're getting trapped in a loop of consumerism, and be told, I still do it. I can't claim that I'm ever going to completely go like cold turkey and stop shopping or stop consuming, but I can try to be more ethically stable about it. I can try to not overdo it. I can try to donate or give things away or do different sales of overconsumption things maybe that I've purchased too many of, because I've definitely have hoarder conditions with certain things. I am a hobbyist collection. I do have certain collections of certain things that I like. Thankfully, I do get the ick on a lot of things where I don't think things are cute or I think it's out of control and tacky. But I have plenty of things that are tacky that I have in one of my rooms. I kind of condense it to one room. It's like my nostalgic dressing room, my office where all my tchotchkes are in there and everything, like the room I'm recording in now. But I don't have this like all over my house. I don't have an explosion of just anything all over my house. The rest of my house is pretty kind of like normal, minimalistic for the most part. But I am very cognizant that if I don't take hold of that, I could have like I don't want to ever have storage units. I don't want to ever feel like I have piling mountains of things that I can't get rid of. So it's keeping that always in the back of my mind when I'm seeing something or realizing that I already probably have that thing in another form or fashion, and I just need to realize that and not be sucked into purchasing something because somebody is suggesting it. And there is a hypnotic state to this. You have to remember that dopamine hit, the rhythm and frequency of how fast you can flick through all of this content becomes hypnotic. You almost become eye locked with this stuff. You brain rot is what the kids I think call it now, where you become couch locked and you're just where all you want to do is just scroll and consume and consume and scroll and consume and consume and scroll and consume and consume. And I get it. And it's trying to get ourselves out of that or realize that we're in that cycle and not let it take us hold for too long, because it's to the detriment of different things. Your financial situation, if you're prone to purchasing easily, your attention, your ability to focus, ability to independently think. Because if you're constantly looking at all of these people on the internet for answers, or you're looking up to them to aspire to be them, or you are engaging with this parasocial relationship where you are emotionally invested in these folks' lives to where it is personally affecting you and you are thinking about it at times where you shouldn't be, or you're consuming more videos or more content around things like this instead of content that's helpful, instead of listening to financial podcasts or listening to higher consciousness things or listening to educational content, things of this nature, instead of listening to drama channels. I've had to unfollow a lot of drama channels, and I keep now a second channel for that because I don't want that to be on my main feed. I don't want my algorithm to be nothing but just all of these influencers and the drama channels that go back and forth with said influencers. It is an insane cycle that has been going on for years, and Mikayla knew it. She nailed it. She has it down packed. But again, whether or not you think it's ethical is up to you. You can clearly see she has the formula. She can get it down. She knows what to do. She knows how to present her face. She knows what hand movements to do. She knows what voice inflections to use. She knows what controversial things to say. She knows what different things will get the engagement. And once you learn how to do that, you can start a revolution on TikTok where you have millions of followers that are outrageously loyal to you and will purchase tons of product. It's like guaranteed product. You are guaranteeing this person becoming a multimillionaire if they're smart with their marketing skills. And she was extremely intelligent with it. She went to school for this. She was well educated. She saw the opportunity. She sees the money that's available. She came out with all of those products. She originally became rich, I'm sure, through tons of brand deals and just getting paid off of TikTok alone. That's how you can afford all of those things that you see in front of her. And the thing is that what you need to realize is that it's the attention that everybody's paying her. And it's not just Mikayla, it's a ton of other influencers as well. And like I mentioned before, unless there's some sort of revolution against TikTok or all of these influencers in mass to where we just don't watch their content or we won't purchase any of the things that they're talking about, it's not going to stop. We are in a culture where, bad saying this, there's a lot of sheep, and I get it because I was a part of that as well, and I've been caught up in trends, and I understand the feeling of that, but it's getting out of it and gracefully bowing out of that economy and saying politely, like, no, I'm not going to be purchasing those products. I'm not going to be no longer supporting that company. I'm not going to be putting my clicks and views in that person's pocket. And unless that starts to occur, these people will continue to make millions and millions of dollars because it is a huge circle. And on top of that, I didn't mention this and I forgot to, but there's ads. Plenty of ads on TikTok that you can push for your video. TikTok asked me the other day, did I want to push my video for $17? And that's all becoming pay to play at this point. So if these influencers then have a lot of money to push these videos out to their algorithm, then the smaller people at play are the people that aren't engaging with TikTok in the way that TikTok deems is pushable, if you will, to the algorithm. Of course, the influencers that have the money to purchase ads and to spread their videos and to have the paid engagement start to come in from TikTok, because you can pay to get views. You can pay to get likes. You can pay to get a certain amount of subscribers. They give you a range bracket of what you could potentially earn in those three categories if you pay them a certain amount of money. So if you already have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and you're just putting a few $1,000s into the TikTok algorithm to push out your videos, that will further spread your information out to the masses, and you will only grow and grow and grow. And that's where it starts to make some of those platforms kind of unfair, because it's not like this organic growth system where the video gets pushed out to the public and people click, if you will. It's more so these influencers are paying us. We're going to push these videos because this guarantees money in the TikTok pocket. And then that influencer ends up getting more and more engagement on their videos, whether or not they pay for them in the future, because they are now a paying customer. Whereas if you do not pay, if you do not engage with TikTok that often, your stuff will not be pushed out. So it's another way. I don't know if any of these influencers specifically that I've discussed are doing it. I'm just saying it's another way that these influencers can get advertising to make money back on their videos and products. Way to be aware and use your power of discernment when you're navigating these TikTok streets, and realizing that financially you're wasting your time watching these videos. Time is money. Instead of you watching those videos, you could be creating a video and putting it out and earning money yourself, or putting it into a business, or researching money, or researching something that interests you, like a hobby, a certain specific job that you're trying to obtain, financial astuteness, whatever, some higher level education, not dumping your attention into frivolous watching of products and things of this nature. I have done it. I'm only telling you from experience that if I would have known, I would have started this way younger on my journey. I would have not have wasted so much money on makeup, on products, on wasting time watching drama videos, and wasting time on watching ridiculous makeup videos that aren't really doing much for me other than kind of entertaining. And I could be using my time in a much better way. I'm not trying to say that it's not fun to have entertainment to a certain degree and to do some like trash TV or watching from time to time, but to make it a practice and a daily habit of these certain specific things, and it ends up being like a Groundhog's Day cycle with your social media feed, and it makes you not feel good, especially, and you're just following these influencers because they make you feel better. That's just something that I think is something I would have worked on more when I was younger if I would have realized it, that I was watching them because I thought that they were going to show me or tell me something or give me a new product that would be so revolutionary, but it never really was. It was always kind of just a sell point, especially for a lot of these different influencers. There are very little products that I currently use that I was influenced that I love to this day, that I can remember that I was influenced by an influencer. It's just because I buy makeup and I go out and purchase stuff on my own in the stores just from being a shopaholic on my own. Also because at some point I did have that beauty channel. I did purchase a lot of beauty products on my own outside of what anybody was telling me, and that was a problem in and of itself. So I know the pitfalls of going down this influencer hole. I hope everybody enjoyed this video and you saw another side to this influencing, this whole world that is, especially with Mikayla, how all these different things that she has done all points back to this major playbook, this run book on what would be the influencer come up, what would be what would be the cycle of influencing. And listen, if you want to do something, this is how it's done. Maybe you can learn to not do something as controversial, to lay a little more low and get your bag in different ways. But outside of that, lesson learned for us regular folks that are not millionaires and influencing is to not spend all your money on these folks, not to become not to become emotionally addicted to these things, not to spend more time or just get into your feelings about anything that these different influencers talk to you about. It's just a lot, almost like watching a soap opera. I remember back in the day, I used to consume a lot of Trisha Paytas because her life was like a soap opera, and I realized I should not be watching that, and I don't watch her anymore. I'm very happy about how her life has turned out for her. It seems like she is living the life that she always envisioned for herself. But at the same time, it was like it was fun at the time, but it was a lot of nonsense where I could have been consuming something else. And that she's just one example. I've watched tons of beauty influencers, and at the time I used to watch a ton of drama channels because they were so funny to me. But it's a waste of time in all actuality. What am I learning during that video? How am I elevating the way that I think? I hope that during this video it made you think about all these different angles of how these different companies are using the influencing space, how the influencers are using the influencer space, and then how these things can all affect your brain and your dopamine and your neurology. The neural circuits in your brain will start to synapse together and communicate the same mirroring effects of the things that you're watching over and over again. It's like a repeat loop cycle. For example, when you start repeating other things that people say around you, that will start to happen to you if you start consuming too much of this content and you may not even realize it. So I hope this video opened up your eyes to some things out here. You learned something new and you can move on to next levels in your financial journey, wherever that may be. And until the next time, guys, I hope you all continue to stay financially astute. Bye, guys.